to the Operation Bohica podcast. My name is Kevin, New York Jets fan since 1982. And in tonight's video, I'm going to give you my honest opinion of the game a couple of days ago between the Denver Broncos and the New York Jets, in which the Denver Broncos walked out victorious from London, from Tottenham Stadium, with a 13-11 victory over the New York Jets. The Broncos improved to 4-2, and it looks like the Broncos are going places with Sean Payton as their coach and Bo Nix as their starting quarterback. Bo Nix, 19 of 34, a buck 74 with a touchdown. It wasn't great, but it got the job done, and we'll just leave it at that. On the other hand, there's the New York Jets. Quite frankly, this in 2020 when the Jets started out 0-13 and they were supposedly going to tank and go 0-16 and then draft Trevor Lawrence with the number one pick. Uh, even even that, the Jets couldn't even get that right because they beat the Los Angeles Rams. Then they beat the Cleveland Browns, who had Baker Mayfield at that time, and so they ended up 2-14 and fired Adam Gase. And we know the rest there. So the Jets couldn't even tank right. So here we are, 0-6 under first year coach Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn, quite frankly, one of the greatest Jets players of all time. Unfortunately, the greatness of him being a Jets player has not translated into becoming a head coach. Obviously, the two incidents in the game that really made the difference at the end of each half, the Jets faked a punt and looked like they were in position to try to get a drive going, down 10-6, maybe get within field goal range, maybe even throw a Hail Mary. That was absolutely abysmal. It was so bad that even the Broncos didn't know what was going on. And that comes down to coaching. And that starts with Aaron Glenn, the rookie head coach. I mean, with all the experience that he's got in the NFL, that was absolutely inexcusable. It was mind-boggling. I mean, guys that play flag football couldn't have done better than that. Then there's the end of the game situation. Justin Fields was not playing well. I will get to him in a second. You could have given Nick Folk the opportunity to try to win it with a 62-yard field goal, or at least give the Jets a 14-13 lead with a minute something left. The defense was playing well. Maybe they could have got a stop and the Jets might have walked out with the victory, but instead, you go for it on 4th and 8. Justin Fields takes another sack, which was his ninth of the game, and the Jets are 0-6 and in free fall, in absolute free fall. If I'm being realistic, the Jets probably should be 3-3 if the coaching had been better, if the defense, which played well this past Sunday, but if the defense had played better in some of the other games, particularly the Steelers game, that's a game that could have been won. The Tampa Bay game, a game the Jets could have won, and then this game, which this time around it was the offense that didn't do their job. Now, I will highlight the defense. Uh, I'm not gonna say that they were, they did very well. They played very well comparatively, excuse me, to how they've been playing the first 5 games of the season. So I will give them that. I will give them an A. I don't want to give them an A plus. There were times when Jamie and Sherwood got beat in coverage. That touchdown, I thought it was on Jamie and Sherwood. It was actually on Sauce Gardner. But other than that, you can't be mad about giving up the field goal for to make Denver go up 13-11. I mean, they didn't give up a touchdown. Giving up 13 points, no reason why the Jets should have lost that game. Also, the Jets played very, very disciplined football, only two penalties the entire game. So you have got to applaud the Jets for that, especially the fact that they were disciplined. Unfortunately, as always, no interceptions. They did get their first turnover, defensive turnover of the season. That guy that we got from Tennessee, Brownlee, hey, Jarvis Brownlee, Jarvis Brownlee, he can ball, bro. He can play. He's got the strip. Andre Cisco recovered. Unfortunately, there was a penalty on Joe Tippmann, but we got a field goal out of it, so that's fine. Again, the defense played well. I'm not gonna come out here and look. They've been playing abysmal all season, so let's not come out here and they had one good game, and let's not start comparing them to the '85 Bears or the Doomsday defense of the Cowboys of the '70s or not. Let's not do that. They had a very good game, so we'll give them their props, but we have to have a lot more consistency as far as the defense is concerned. As far as the offense, my God, my God, the offensive line, offensive. Justin Fields, oh my God, that was a Zach Wilson kind of game, bro. He made Zach Wilson look like Tom Brady or Peyton Manning, prime Peyton Manning, or John Elway. Justin Fields, 9 of 17 for 45 yards. Bro, 2.6 yards of reception. Gee whiz, bro. Of course, you had 9 sacks for 55 yards. So Justin Fields ended up what? Minus 10? Minus 10 passing yards beyond one of the most pathetic quarterback performances I've seen as a Jets fan. And I've seen plenty from Zach Wilson all the way back to Neil O'Donnell. Yes, Neil O'Donnell. That's how long I've been a Jets fan. Even before that, uh, Richard Todd had his moments in the early '80s before Ken O'Brien walked through the door. Oh my God. Dude, listen, 9 of 17, 45. Think about that. 9/17/45. There are people out there whose date of birth is 9/17/45. That is how awful Justin Fields was. If you look at the press conference after the game, he got his head down. Right now, Justin Fields does not have any confidence in himself. And I know Aaron Glenn got testy with the media afterward. Oh, what do you think he's going to start next week? Justin Fields cannot start this weekend against Carolina. It has got to be Tyrod Taylor. It's got to. Brees Hall, 22 carries, 59 yards. He was okay, but they didn't throw to him out of the backfield, which was ridiculous. My God, Garrett Wilson, 3 for 13. The Jets did catch a break. I thought that was a fumble where he got stripped, but they called it in favor of the Jets. Mason Taylor, only one reception for 2 yards. That's on Justin Fields. That's on the offensive line as well. The offensive line was, man, they were offensive, especially in the pass game. They're very good. They're a very good run blocking team, but oh my God, pass blocking is just absolutely atrocious. My goodness. Now Garrett Wilson has got an injury, which I believe he will miss the Carolina game, and I think he'll miss the next game. I forget who the Jets play after the Panthers. They'll play Cincinnati on October 26th. Then there's the bye week. So you're looking at Garrett Wilson possibly returning November the 9th against the Cleveland Browns. I'm going to say this right now about Garrett Wilson. He's a dog. He's already one of the 10 greatest receivers in the history of the New York Jets. But right now, as it stands with the New York Jets being 0-6, Garrett Wilson is a broken man. He's broken. Now thankfully this injury is not, you know, it's not a season-ending injury. But Garrett Wilson is broken mentally and broken spiritually from all this losing that he's been doing. He has been doing nothing but losing since he's got to the New York Jets. Of course, It's not really his fault. I mean, he is the first Jets receiver to ever have three consecutive 1,000-yard seasons. Again, he is on his way to becoming one of the greatest, if not the greatest, Jets receiver of all time. Unfortunately, with the whole Zach Wilson thing, then you got Aaron Rodgers and that experiment that didn't work. You had Mike White, and now you got Joe Flacco. Now you've got Justin Fields, and now you're gonna have Tyrod Taylor. It's tough. It's so tough for Garrett Wilson. Having said that, I would not. He's the one guy I would not trade. I think he wants to stay in New York and wants to turn things around. I think I'm starting to think Brees Hall is probably going to get traded. Man, he was dynamic. He was awesome the first 6 weeks of his rookie season. Then he gets the injury against Denver that season. Unfortunately, he lost the remainder of that rookie season, and it just seems like he's almost there, but not quite what he was at the beginning of that rookie season. I think he's broken too. I think he might be traded. I hope that they do not trade Jermaine Johnson. Jermaine Johnson out there, he was a dog out there last week in his return. You can see the difference with Jermaine Johnson as opposed to without Jermaine Johnson. Quentin Williams played better. Will McDonald played better. That number 51, I think his name is Kiko. I'm sorry, Francisco Magawa. I will say this: he was a bright spot. He had some good moments in that game against the Broncos. I think the Jets might have something there with that young man. I believe he was a fifth round draft pick out of Miami. Hey, we got something. We got something there. That he was a bright spot on defense. The defense overall, like I stated earlier, played very very well. But it's only one game. We'll see what happens against Carolina and then Cincinnati and then um, moving forward. But what a disgrace. That's why I can't even show my face in this video. I'm not gonna show my face because the offense didn't show their face. That was absolutely pathetic. This time around, you know, throughout the first few 5 games of the season, the offense played relatively okay. It was the defense that was porous and horrific. This time around, it was the offense. The defense gave the Jets every chance to win that game, and the offense that offense was from like the early days of football, 1920. We're talking 3 yards in a cloud of dust, absolutely brutal. And now the pressure, I think the seat is starting to get hot for Aaron Glenn. He made some references about coaching before the season started, and it seemed like he was throwing a couple of little digs at Robert Saleh. Well, last year Robert Saleh was 2-3, still better than 0-6. So I don't know what Aaron Glenn's got to do. I know he's got to keep plugging away. We do have the comparisons with Dan Campbell. I stated in another video, Bill Walsh, the late great Bill Walsh, started off 2-14 in 1979 with the 49ers. 2 years later, they win the Super Bowl. Bill Parcells in 1983 was 3-12-1. 3 years later, the 49ers won the Super Bowl. Jimmy Johnson, 1989, the Cowboys 1-15. 3 years later, the Cowboys win their first of three Super Bowls in the 90s. But man, understand you're in New York, and the New York fan base is very impatient. The Jets fans, like myself, kind of running out of patience. We don't want to be 0-17. I don't want to be 0-17. I don't want to have a top five pick. I don't want the number one draft pick, but it may be looking like that. And then there's the whole thing with a quarterback. Obviously, Justin Fields is not the future. I think he's showing that unless he magically turns it around the rest of the season, I don't think that's going to happen. He is what he is. This is what I think the Jets should do. And this is just my opinion. You got to let Tyrod Taylor start the game against Carolina. Let him start the game against Cincinnati. And then when Garrett Wilson comes back on November the 9th against Cleveland, you start Brady Cook because the Jets are probably going to be 0-8 anyway. I don't see them being Carolina. Carolina came off a big win against the Cowboys. Things are looking up for Carolina. Cincinnati season, they're kind of hanging by a thread, but I think they would beat the Jets regardless. Uh, I think you start Brady Cook, the rookie out of Missouri, see what he's got, see if he's a diamond in the rough, see if he can be kind of what Mike White was a few years ago. And if the Jets rally around Brady Cook, maybe he can win a game or two or three. And if you can see kind of what, if you can see the fire and you can see this team reacting to Brady Cook, keep Brady Cook in there. That's what I think the Jets should do for the rest of the season. Or, like somebody told me today, maybe wait till week 14, 15, maybe start Brady Cook. But I would throw Brady Cook in the fire, see what he's got, especially if they keep Brees Hall and they don't trade him. You've got Garrett Wilson, Brees Hall, Mason Taylor. Other than this game, he has been a bright spot. So we got to give props to Darren Muji and Aaron Glenn for drafting Mason Taylor. I'm not saying he's going to be Tony Gonzalez or Ozzie Newsome or Rob Gronkowski, but I think Mason Taylor, he's nice. He's nice. He's shown that he can play. You gotta feed him the ball, and then we got to see what we can do about getting a second wide receiver. Maybe one of these guys will step up uh, throughout the rest of the season. Or maybe the Jets are going to have to draft a star wide receiver or trade for a star wide receiver in the offseason. Right now, Aaron Glenn and Robert Sala are looking at this situation. They both got to be laughing their asses off. Well, not so much Devontae Adams because he was only here for like half the season. But if I'm being honest right now, Robert Sala, Aaron Rodgers, they are laughing and laughing and laughing. Rex Ryan might be laughing a little bit too because he really wanted the job. It's not looking good for Aaron Glenn. Do I think he's gonna get fired? I know a lot of people are already calling for his head. I mean, it's New York. It is what it is in New York. Um, I don't think he's gonna get fired. Now, if they go 0-17, yeah, he might be gone, but I don't see the Jets going 0-17. They're gonna get a couple of wins somewhere along the road there. But unfortunately, this 2025 season, it looks like it's over. Uh, I mean, do you really think the Jets are going to win 10 out of their last 11? How? That would be a modern day miracle. And unfortunately, and the reality is, the Jets are going to go another year without making the playoffs. So it'll be what, 15 seasons. So I guess we just gotta start looking forward again to having a top five pick in the 2026 draft. Man, at this point, yo, the Jets might go 0-17 this season and the next season. So come the 2027 draft, the Jets are going to have the top 10 picks in the draft. And Roger Goodell's going to be like, well, how he says it, with the first pick in the draft, the New York Jets select, he's just going to go, okay, y'all, with the first 10 picks in the 2027 draft, the New York Jets select so and so, so and so, and so and so, and so and so. At the rate we're going, man, this is just a dumpster fire. And I'm gonna be honest, this is probably the worst feeling I've had as a fan since 1996 when the Jets went 1-15, and I gotta make a video about that year. That was a living hell. But unfortunately, those are my honest thoughts about this Denver Broncos New York Jets game. The Broncos were doing all they can to give the game away to the New York Jets. And again, the New York Jets failed to capitalize. There's an old saying: winners find ways to win and losers find ways to lose. And the New York Jets continue to find ways to lose in 2025. This has been the